The award-winning Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org. I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Johnny DiLoretto. This is Cinema Classics.
It sure is.
Excuse me.
It is Oscar time.
It is Oscar time. I love Oscar time.
Typical of you, you've come in with a topic that I have to admit I find fascinating. This is the backlash to the Oscar nominees. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So you know how there's always like a yearly controversy, you know, Oscar's so white or something else, something along those lines, or maybe there's one, I don't know. But usually there's something that, like a little grit in the Oscar oyster, you know? Is it a clam? Is it an oyster? There's a pearl in an oyster.
I'll bet there's grit in there.
So this year is really interesting. We have reached this point in the culture with the reach of social media and, you know, giving everyone a voice. And it's a perfect confluence of social media and political correctness and social awareness and all this stuff, right? So this year we have a controversy for nearly every film.
No, I think the big
every one of the nominated films, except I think Get Out, every one of the nominated films comes with some sort of controversial baggage.
Don't you think that's controversial?
What?
It still is, regardless of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Get Out?
Get Out, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's controversial, but it doesn't have backlash against it.
Okay.
You know.
I think the best backlash on your thesis is Three Billboards.
Yeah, so that's the big one, right? Three Billboards. Oh, let me try that again. Three Billboards is, I mean, if I could whittle it down, I think it revolves around the Sam Rockwell character.
Mostly. Because
he's a racist cop.
Yes.
Who finds redemption.
Yes.
And this is a problem for some people.
Yeah, I think more conservative elements are backlashing in the sense that he's getting away with, he beats even white prisoners. You know, he takes a black prisoner and beats him up, then he takes a white prisoner.
Wait. You don't see that.
But he does. And he doesn't.
No, he says it.
Okay.
That's different.
Well, let's
see. I think in the syntax of cinema, seeing something is a lot different than saying something. Now, I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? In other words, it's like the Unforgiven motif. So in Unforgiven, we're told at the outset that Clint Eastwood has done these horrible things. The Clint Eastwood character.
Right.
He has, you know, he's killed women and children, and he's blah blah blah, and it's really that there's no evidence of that in the movie other than that line of dialogue.
All right, and accepting that we don't know for sure, and this guy.
I'm just saying it complicates it.
Right. He's probably a liar anyway. But if you take the John Hawkes character, who strangles practically the friend, Frances McDormand's friend, and gets away with it, or maybe even does he? I had written it down.
Rockwell does it to the real estate guy.
John Hawkes beats up, domestically violent, beats up. There don't appear to be ramifications for actions like this.
Wait, what does the John Hawkes character do?
He is, I believe, the husband. Thank you. John Hawkes is Frances McDormand's role, the ex-husband.
Yeah.
He had beaten her, and apparently is still out there without repercussions. And so, in other words, there's a domestic violence sub-theme here, just as there is for Peter Dinklage,
right,
who is treated as a dwarf,
right.
You know, dismissed. I mean, you know.
It seems to me that people are mistaking thematic, thematic violence for real world.
Okay.
You know, racism and.
But
that is a clumsy sentence. But you understand what I'm saying. These people are awash in grotesque behavior.
Right,
this small town is rife with it. That's part of the point of the film, that she somehow, through her mental and emotional resilience, can rise above all of it and you know, it's a commanding performance. It's one of those movies where I was sitting in it. I really wasn't particularly eager to see it. I thought it might be interesting.
Yes.
As I'm sitting in the movie, it dawns on me. I was like, this is the best picture of the year.
Yeah.
This is the best picture of the year. And Sam Rockwell is astounding in it.
Yes,
He's really amusing.
Yeah.
He is an inarticulate lunkhead who, yeah, you do sort of see this guy stumble towards some sort of redemption. And now, I'm not saying he's completely redeemed.
No.
When the movie fades to black, maybe this guy is still a jerk.
And exactly. And my point about this, all this backlash, which is very true about the Rockwell character, is you don't tell me this isn't a reality. It's possible for somebody to take a softer approach toward as his arc becomes more obvious in the film. It is possible for somebody to, of course it is. You know, he doesn't have to be.
Of course, beyond that, John, the question in itself is ridiculous. So, in other words, Robert De Niro, who won the Best Actor in 1980 for Raging Bull, he played a very nearly irredeemable domestic abuser, just a total a-hole from top to bottom. He does find some sort of redemption. I mean, otherwise we don't watch the movie, right? But what are you going to take his Oscar away? And anybody else who's ever played a jerk?
But I think it's more in your term thematic. It's more in the cultural.
Here, let's
all right, another.
Let's go on. Okay, Darkest Hour.
Yes. Winston Churchill. Gary
Churchill.
Oldman's got it locked for Best Actor.
Well, you think he has it locked
I think he does.
for Best Actor.
That's the only one.
Except that Gary Oldman has been accused of domestic abuse in the past, and so this is an issue. Now, see, that's a little
James
different.
Franco.
That's a little different, right? Yeah. Now there's real world ramifications of the behavior of the people in the movie, and that's different than the behavior of people.
It's good.
Characters.
That's good. No, you're right. And we have often tried to broach the subject, and we have never been brilliant. The separation of actor from role. And now, as you point out, the social media is relentless about pulling this together. And maybe, I mean, after all, Franco was not nominated for, I thought, a super role. And probably because a couple of nights before the nominations came in, he was accused of violence.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was violence. I thought it was just
harassment. I'm sorry. He was accused of harassment, of sexual harassment.
Okay.
And more than one. Well, all right, now let me ask you this, okay? Now, this is your topic, but I got to ask you.
Yeah.
What is the backlash in Call Me By Your Name?
Oh, the backlash in Call Me By Your Name.
I knew you would have an answer.
I don't have an answer. This is what people are talking about. Of course, because of the age difference between the two characters.
Good.
Timothy, hold on, let me fast forward.
Shaman.
You and polysyllabic names, not your strong suit.
No.
Hold on, let me get the kid's name. Timothy, what is it? Oh, for Christ's sake, okay, forget it. I'm not going to say it. So, the controversy is that it's a gay romance between a 24-year... Let me try that again. The controversy is that it's a gay romance between a 24-year-old and a 17-year-old. And that's really the sticking point there. Especially in this time, right on the heels of Kevin Spacey being accused of inappropriate behavior with a 14-year-old.
When we discussed that on It's Movie Time,
Yeah.
I got more responses on that very point than any other show I've ever done.
What were the responses?
And the point is that these were people who had said we had misunderstood. And for instance, in the European tradition, this is not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
But apparently in our American culture, it's still not acceptable. And in fact, that Armie Hammer is really 30 something.
Yeah.
Adds
how
to
old
it.
is the kid in real life? Do you know?
Maybe somewhere around this.
Oh, God, now I gotta look it up.
All right. Okay, back.
I mean, we can paint ourselves in these corners.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, hold on. Don't. I want to be engaged.
I have another point here.
I know. I want to be engaged with your point. Timothy Chalamet. He is. He's 22.
Okay.
that changes a lot of things, right? Okay.
But
So
yeah, but I wanted to add to this, the American vision of an older guy and a younger man. This is not as acceptable in the European tradition. I have many people who wanted to point out to me that the age of consent in Europe, some European countries, is like 14. I mean, what are you guys getting exercise about? So that backlash is true.
right. Now you mentioned Armie Hammer is how old?
He's in his 30s.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Well, Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. I looked this up.
Good.
He's 22 in real life.
Yeah. Okay.
So see, now there's that weird wrinkle, right?
I know.
Because if you show a 32-year-old man kissing us, in intimate situations with a 17-year-old boy, that's unacceptable. But if you make the characters have this slight age difference, it changes things. And also, really, isn't it about first love and having your heart broken?
Of course it is. It's a summer in Italy, and you're falling in love. And I wanted to add another turn of the screw to this.
Yeah.
Is that it might be that Armie Hammer was not nominated because of this very backlash we're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, nobody knows. But I'm saying, isn't it strange? I thought he did a beautiful job, his best ever, and he was not even nominated. So who knows? I mean, what I do know is that we're going on and on and on. We've done 2 films. Isn't that promising?
Why don't we just have a part 2? Because there's more to cover.
All right, I got it, and I love the idea.
Let's end this show, and then we just start again.
So let's warn our listener there to come on back.
Come back for part 2 of Oscar controversy.